As China's economy deteriorates, the new poor are spreading to Beijing and Shanghai. In recent years, as China's economy continues to deteriorate and housing prices plummet, the new poor are spreading in major cities such as Beijing and Shanghai. They may appear well-dressed, but live in poverty due to heavy debts. A new term has emerged on Chinese social media, new poor. This group of people is spreading across major cities in China, especially in first-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, where the new poor are more common. The common characteristics of the new poor include owning a house and a car in the city, no savings, or if they have savings, they are minimal. Apart from houses and cars, they have no other assets. The scale of debt has reached millions or even tens of millions. They face huge monthly repayments and, due to sharp income drops, have fallen into the difficult position of not making ends meet. Many are confused. If they can afford a house and a car in the city, they must be worth at least millions. So how can they be considered poor? This is because many now buy houses and cars in installments, which places them under enormous loan pressure, with repayment periods extending for several decades. Additionally, China's economy has been sluggish in recent years, with many people losing jobs and experiencing unstable incomes. Under the weight of mortgages and car loans, many are forced to cut spending and lower their quality of life to get by. They avoid extra entertainment expenses and even fear getting sick, becoming the new poor in the city. These new poor are described as living in homes worth millions of yuan but unable to pay a 10,000 yuan mortgage, driving cars worth hundreds of thousands of yuan but unable to afford a 500 yuan gas refill. Their daily lives are burdened by high mortgage loans, with nearly all of their income going to mortgage and car loan payments. They must work non-stop every day, constantly worried because if anything happens to their job and they lose income or can't make monthly payments, the bank will repossess the house and car, and the down payments and previous monthly payments will not be returned, wasting years of hard work. In recent years, China's real estate market has been sluggish, with housing prices in first-tier cities falling by almost 30%, and prices in other cities dropping even more sharply, with some areas seeing declines of over 50%. As a result, those who bought at high prices now face significant asset depreciation. These new poor have a lower capacity to withstand risks compared to rural residents, as they have no land and cannot grow their own fruits and vegetables, making all their food, clothing, housing, and transportation in the city costly. In addition to mortgages, they face living expenses, water bills, electricity bills, transportation fees, and various social obligations. Every day when they open their eyes, they must make payments and meet various expenses. These new poor must work hard every day just to survive. If one day they suddenly lose their income, the city will ruthlessly force them to pack up and leave.
China's economy continues to deteriorate, and all industries are in recession. A large number of factories, enterprises, and physical stores have closed down. Once prosperous shopping malls and commercial streets are also deserted. People's lives are difficult, and many are forced to lie down. Guangdong Dongguan live broadcast host. This was a very prosperous place, but now, at 11:20, there's no one here, including the KFC and Starbucks next to it. There are no customers. A Dongguan live broadcast host described that in the most prosperous business district of Chaotu Town, Dongguan City, many stores have closed down, and the streets are empty. Guangdong Dongguan live broadcast host. Many storefronts are closed. Many can't continue to operate and have shut down. Some are available for rent. Even if they're open, there are no customers inside. On October 18th, people in various areas on the mainland told reporters that almost all cities are now in a Great Depression, with many stores closing down one after another and unemployment everywhere. Mr. Li, a citizen of Xi'an, Fujian, said, "Now, even in the entire coastal city that once had the most advanced economy, most people who ran shops, factories, travel agencies, and entertainment venues have gone bankrupt in recent years. For example, some physical factories have a few days off, and the boss has sold all the machines. The workers come to work, but there's no place for them to work. The boss is in debt and has no business. Some can't even pay wages. China's economy has worsened. local governments are heavily in debt, and civil servants have generally faced salary cuts, unpaid wages, and the loss of all welfare benefits. Mr. Li, a citizen of Xi'an, Fujian said, "Now in some places, buses can't pay wages, so services have stopped. While Xi'an's buses haven't stopped, many taxis aren't running as they used to. The tram has become very popular here. To save costs, people generally buy trams. It's more convenient to ride a bike yourself." Many people on the mainland say that many are now forced to lie down, and basic consumption has also shrunk. Mr. Zhou, a resident of Shenyang, said, "Now, from business owners to middle-level leaders, grassroots employees, and restaurant owners, it's a period of depression, and no one is having an easy time. Companies of all kinds are laying off employees. I have 4 friends who've been laid off. We're just trying to survive now and have to be prepared to lie down." A Guangzhou Live broadcaster noted that in recent years, many shops in Guangzhou have closed, and the once prosperous business district has become deserted. A female live broadcaster in Guangzhou: "Look at these physical stores along the street. The locations are excellent. Many storefronts are empty, and now a large area has closed down. Physical stores can't continue." A Qingdao live broadcaster stated that the economic depression in Qingdao is severe. Even at dinner time, the dining area in large shopping malls is almost empty. Qingdao live broadcaster: "It's 7 o'clock in the evening. Ordinarily, as mealtime, there should be a lot of people, but after walking around, there's almost no one." The once crowded Guangzhou Shangxiaju commercial pedestrian street is no longer thriving. Guangzhou live streamer: "I'm now on the Shangxiaju pedestrian street in Guangzhou. This side is divided into 2 streets, the upper and lower streets. This is the lower street. As you can see, around 7 p.m., many shops have closed. To be precise, many shops have not been open for a long time. You can see that these closed shops are all in a row." Mainland residents believe that people now lack money and don't consume, leading to the closure of a large number of physical stores. Mr. Wang, a resident of Dongguan, Guangdong, said, "Nowadays, general store owners, hardware dealers, and small supermarket owners are all closing down. Look at the barbershop owners. They have no money. Some men don't even go to the barbershop to get a haircut. You can get a haircut for 20 or 30 yuan, or some people get it done roadside for 10 yuan." A Guangzhou live streamer mentioned that barbershops have also closed down in recent years, and many people around him no longer visit them. Guangzhou live streamer: "I haven't been to a barbershop for several years. The key is that more and more people like me don't go to barbershops. Like my neighbors, most ask their wives to cut their hair." A physical store owner shared that he had been doing business for many years, but now he loses money in everything he does, so he has decided to lie down. Mr. Zhao, a physical store owner in Shenzhen, said, "I know many colleagues and other business owners. Many of my customers are also in business. Experienced business people aren't doing well this year. Food, drinks, clothing, and daily necessities are all struggling. So if you're considering starting a business, stop. Don't do it. Just lie down. In this kind of society, if you want to make 10,000 yuan, it's hard to pocket it, but to spend 10,000 yuan goes fast. Don't start a business. It's truly blood and tears." Shenzhen, once a prosperous metropolis, is now in a depression, with a large number of physical stores closed. Shenzhen residents said, "This is the Happy Coast shopping center in Shenzhen. Look, all the shops are closed. This restaurant is closed. This amusement facility is closed. Everything is closed, and there aren't many people in this mall. Dongguan is in decline. Shops are closing down in rows, and internal competition is serious. Dongguan is an important prefecture-level city in Guangdong province and plays a key role in the economy of both Guangdong and China. However, As China's economy continues to weaken, internal competition in Dongguan has become so intense that technicians lament how difficult it is to make money. Chang'an Town in Dongguan, once filled with factories, now sees rows of shops closing down, and merchants are struggling. Inside and outside the industrial park in Gaobu Town, Dongguan, people are rarely seen. Dongguan is a world-renowned manufacturing center, especially famous for industries like electronics, footwear, and furniture. It was once called the World's Factory, attracting significant foreign and domestic investment. But how is Dongguan today? Blogger Xi'an from Chongqing said on October 23rd that he and his wife came to Dongguan a week ago, but within that week, he realized they couldn't stay in Guangdong anymore. They packed their luggage that day and returned to Chongqing at night. He said, "The biggest feeling I had when I came to Guangdong this time was that it was too hard to make money. I visited Dongguan and found it was extremely difficult and competitive. I found that not only were we facing technical competition, but many processing companies were not making any profit, and other industries were also fiercely competitive. This morning, 23rd, when I went out for breakfast, I saw a roadside barber shop charging only 10 yuan for a haircut. The owner had to pay rent and labor. How could they make any money?" He sighed. "After all the twists and turns, I was the one who suffered the most, and nobody made any money." Businesses in important towns in Dongguan have been ruined. Guangdong Dongguan blogger Junbao filmed a video in Chang'an Town, one of the most important towns in Dongguan, to document its current decline. He said the shops in Chang'an Town were once very popular and in high demand. There were factories everywhere, at least hundreds, and rental housing nearby. Chang'an Town's GDP used to rank first in Dongguan City, and its geographical location was relatively advantageous. However, now look at the shops in Chang'an Town. Rows and rows of shops have closed down. Almost all the clothing shops have shut their doors. There used to be a big stage in the town that was lively every night with people dancing. Now it's so desolate, it's become a parking lot. It's so hard to do business now. There used to be a row of milk tea shops in the town, and every weekend there was a large flow of people. Over the past 2 years, businesses have been ruined. The shops are all closed and no one cares. Dongguan is really in a pitiful state. Junbao said that only a few shops are still open, and it's estimated that the rent, water, and electricity bills aren't even covered for a day. They're definitely losing money every day. He visited a street in Chang'an Town, capturing many people with his camera. He said, "They're all unemployed, just sitting and playing with their mobile phones. The shops on the street are deserted, and no one is going in to shop. It's really miserable." Workers. There are basically no people in the industrial park. Dongguan blogger Lao Chen said that he worked as a temporary worker in a factory in Gaobu Town, Dongguan, for a period of time last year. This year, there are fewer workers in the factory, and there are basically no people. Both inside and outside the industrial park in Gaobu Town, it's deserted.